Hi, I'm Dennis Dick for premarketinfo.com. I've downloaded the consolidated tape for Facebook for a 5-minute period surrounding the $38 bottom that it made today. Uh, that was obviously right at the IPO price 38, and it's actually rumored that the underwriters had stepped in and bought over $1 billion worth of stock there to support the price. Underwriters don't want the stock to go under the IPO price because it looks very bad for the issue. It looks like they basically underwrote the stock too high, so that's why they like to support the price. You'll often see underwriters step in and support the price, and that's the rumors. Don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just going to show you the pricing action. First, this is the bid here, this is the ask, and this is the size. You have to add 2 zeros, so when you see 40 here, it's actually 4,000 shares bidding. You'll see trades going by. These are actual size, so 450 shares trade at 38.09. I'm going to actually just scroll through this almost in real time just to get a feel for how quickly the stock was trading. So as you can see, the stock's trading very, very quickly, 38.05, 38.05, trading right in front of that key 38 level. Now, why is it trading so much stock in front of that $38 level? Well, there's a lot of short-term traders, or some even, or for the most part, high-frequency traders that are leaning in front of that $38 size. There's actually a huge bidder, which you're going to see in a minute, at $38, and obviously it's a price that probably a lot of high frequency trading firms speculated that would the underwriters would step in and try to hold that price. So they're buying in front of that $38 size, which you're going to see here in a couple of seconds. As we scroll through the tapes, you see lots of stock being accumulated: 38.05, 38.04, 38.03, 38.02. 38.02, it's just kind of hanging out right in front of that $38 level, the key $38 level, but it's going to get there in just a couple of seconds here. 38.01, we're right in front of the $38 level. And believe it or not, as I'm scrolling through here, this is actually slower than real time. So just to give you an idea, that's why I'm scrolling through the trades so quickly. Just give you an idea how quickly this thing was moving. But as you can see here, $38 is bid for 2.4 million shares. Again, you have to add the 2 zeros. Offered at 38.03. So as the high frequency traders bid 38.01, they flip around and they get on the offer 38.03, scalping a couple of cents. They know they can lean on this buyer here at 38 because it's very sizable and they're very fast. So if this $38 bid was all of a sudden gone, they'd be scrambling to get out, but they're very quick. So they know with 2.4 million shares and probably a lot more there hidden. This is only the quote in the lit market. This is the consolidated quote in the lit market. Basically on all your exchanges combined 2.4 million, but there's lots of hidden liquidity there too. And the high frequency traders know this $38 level is probably going to be supported by the underwriters. They feel pretty safe to bid 38.01, 38.02, or 38.03 and accumulate stock there. And that's exactly what they're doing over time. They're just accumulating lots of stock here in front of the $38 level. It's up to 38 and a nickel now. But it will eventually start to trade out and try to take out this $38 level. We're moving through here. It's about half, actually about 1/3 of real time here right now, as you can see the trades going by. So believe it or not, it was going a lot quicker in real life. So we're back down trading at $38 again here. Lots of trades going by, lots of size going by, 38, 38.03. As the high frequency guys get the 38.01s, they're selling 38.03, 38.04, scalping, just scalping for a few cents because that's what they do. They have high frequency traders have very, very low profit margins. So they have to they like to lean on orders to protect themselves. If the 38 bid was gone, they wouldn't want to be owning the stock, but they know they can lean on the 38 bid because they're so quick that if that goes to get taken out, they'll probably be able to hit it before it gets taken out. So they lean on it by buying ahead of it at 38 or 38.01 and then flipping it out at 38.02, 38.03, 38.04, 38.05. Maybe some of them hold a little bit longer than that. But what actually happens is as more and more high frequency traders accumulate stock at 38.01, at 38.02, at 38.03, and they're throwing they actually throw offers out at the 38.03, 38.04, and that actually holds the stock price down. That's why you see in this Facebook for 4 to 5 minutes just continually trade within a 5 or 10 cent spread. Like this stock had just fallen 4 points in the previous 5 minutes, and now all of a sudden it's trading, in a 10-cent range for almost 5 minutes. So, and that's because it's caught in what I call the high frequency tractor beam. On our site, www.premarketinfo.com, if you go under the In the Media tab, I have an article there. It's called the HFT Tractor Beam, and you can read about it and get a better understanding for what I'm talking about. But in a nutshell, it just means that as more and more high frequency traders accumulate stock in front of this $38 buyer. And the buyer is dwindling down, but the underwriters keep adding more to the size. So even though there's way more than 2.4 million shares trading at 38 million, they just keep accumulating size there and keep adding to the size to support the price. But getting back to my original point, as the high frequency traders continue to buy in front of at 3801, they add offers at 3802, at 03, at 04, and those offers actually hold the stock price down. So you have two things happening here. You have the underwriters holding the price up at 38, and you have the high frequency traders who are just scalped and bought 3801 and 3802, holding the price down at 3801, 3802, 3803. So that's why the stock gets caught in this, what I call an HFT tractor beam, as these two separate participants are basically on the opposite side of each other. So you can see here, the stock is still just trading in a 1 or 2 cent range, which is insane for a stock that just went IPO 5 minutes ago and is all of a sudden trading in a 5-cent range. Everybody say, why would it do that? Why did it do that? Well, it's because of those two separate participants going the opposite way and holding the price in place. For that high frequency tractor beam to be broken, the stock needs to get away from like that $38 level, like at 38.10 or 38.15, so that the high frequency traders no longer have accumulated stock. They've sold all their stock at 38.05, 38.07. They weren't able to get it again at 38.01, and then it can move higher, and that's the breaking of the tractor beam. And that's what does eventually happen here. But I just wanted you to get a feel for how much stock is trading at 38. So these underwriters, if that is true, accumulated a lot of stock. Like here's a 40,000 share print right here. 40,000 shares, but there's just so much stock going by here at 38. These trades are crazy, and it's still a bid there. There's still a sizable bid there in the book at this time, but it eventually does start to rally from here. So if I just scroll a little bit higher, so I just don't bore you with all the trades, you can see for the next 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes, it still does the same thing. It's still trading between 38 and 38 and a nickel. So it's really caught in that high frequency tractor beam. But eventually it does start to move higher, and it does eventually break the high frequency tractor beam. And I'm going to move up to show you that. So we're starting to go 3804, 3807. We're starting to get a little bit away from it right now. So the high frequency traders, now we're 3807 bid to 3808 offer. So the high frequency traders that accumulated stock at 3801 have probably already sold. They sold 3805, 3806. 3804. So now it's starting to get away from that a little bit. So as long as the price doesn't go back to that $38.01, the stock can actually move higher, which it eventually does here. So 3812, 3814, starting to move higher. I think that might touch back here in a minute, but as you can see, so we just continue to move higher. The stock eventually is 3830, 3840, and eventually it does continue to move higher. So that's what happened today, and that's the high frequency tractor beam that happened in Facebook.